Faith in Action, the canonization of Blessed Carlo Acutis and Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. Thus, reflection is prepared by Father Aube Francis, pastor at St. Jude Church, Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA. On Sunday, September 7th, from St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, Pope Leo XIV will preside over the canonizations of two extraordinary young men, Blessed Carlo Acutis and Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. Their lives remind us that holiness is not reserved for priests, nuns, or mystics alone. Ordinary young people, students, athletes, gamers, and friends can live extraordinary lives of faith and love for God. I still remember the first time I learned about Carlo Acutis. It was during a conference of the Grand Rapids Council of Catholic Women. Eucharistic miracles were being presented, and I was deeply touched to hear about this teenager who dedicated his short life to spreading love for Jesus and the Eucharist. Later, I had the chance to travel with 43 parishioners and friends from the Diocese of Grand Rapids to Assisi, Italy. There, I stood before his glass tomb, saw his youthful face, and prayed near his image displayed outside the church. That encounter left me inspired. Faith and action, lived in such simplicity and conviction, can truly make saints. And now, to see him canonized together with Pier Giorgio Frassati, another young Italian whose motto was Verso l'alto, to the heights, is a gift for the whole church. Let us take a closer look at their lives. Blessed Carlo Acutis, 1991 to 2006. Carlo Acutis was born in London on May 3, 1991, and raised in Milan, Italy. From a young age, he displayed a deep devotion to God, surprising his non-practicing parents by asking to attend daily Mass and pray before the Blessed Sacrament. While he enjoyed playing soccer and video games like any teenager, his true passion was Jesus and the Eucharist. Carlo once said, "The Eucharist is my highway to heaven." With remarkable skill in computers, he created a website cataloging Eucharistic miracles around the world, making the truth of Christ's real presence accessible to countless people. At just 15 years old, Carlo was diagnosed with an aggressive leukemia. He offered his sufferings for the Church and for the Pope, saying, "I am happy to die because I lived my life without wasting a minute on things that displease God." He died on October 12, 2006, and was buried in Assisi, dressed in jeans and sneakers, an ordinary young man on his way to sainthood. His canonization. Carlo was beatified in 2020 after a miracle was attributed to his intercession. Now, in 2025, the Church will declare him a saint, the first millennial saint, a witness that holiness is possible in the digital age. Lesson from Carlo's life. Carlo teaches us that faith is not outdated. Even in our modern world of technology, video games, and busy schedules, there is room for God at the center. His example reminds us to use our talents, even digital skills, for the glory of God. Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati, 1901 to 1925. Pier Giorgio was born on April 6, 1901, in Turin, Italy, into a wealthy and influential family. His father was the founder of the famous Italian newspaper La Stampa. Despite his privilege, Pier Giorgio's heart was always turned toward the poor, the sick, and the forgotten. At age 17, he joined the St. Vincent de Paul Society and began serving the homeless, the elderly, and veterans of World War I. He was often seen carrying food, clothing, and medicine to those in need. His faith was nourished by daily Mass, Eucharistic adoration, and devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Known as the man of the Beatitudes, Pier Giorgio embodied the gospel values of Matthew 5, joyful, humble, merciful, pure of heart, and a peacemaker. He also loved mountain climbing, organizing excursions with friends that combined prayer, fellowship, and fun. His motto, written on his last photograph, was Verso l'alto, to the heights. It expressed both his love of climbing and his striving for holiness. Pier Giorgio died at the young age of 24 from polio, likely contracted while serving the sick. His funeral was attended not by the wealthy elite, but by thousands of the poor whom he had served. Pope John Paul II beatified him in 1990, calling him a man of the 8 Beatitudes. His canonization. For decades, Pier Giorgio has been a patron of youth, young adults, athletes, and ordinary Catholics trying to live faithfully. Miracles attributed to his intercession have paved the way for his canonization, a testimony that joy, service, and love can transform the world. Lesson from Pier Giorgio's life. Pier Giorgio teaches us that holiness is found not in doing extraordinary things, but in doing ordinary things with extraordinary love. His call to the heights urges us to lift our eyes and hearts to God while never forgetting those who suffer around us. Faith in action. What we can learn. The canonizations of Carlo Acutis and Pier Giorgio Frassati remind us that holiness is possible in every generation. Both young men show us what it means to live with faith and action, to unite our passions, our friendships, our talents, and even our sufferings with Christ. Carlo teaches us to keep our eyes fixed on the Eucharist, the true presence of Jesus. Pier Giorgio urges us to climb toward holiness by serving the poor with joy. Question for meditation: how can I put my faith into action today at home, at school, at work, or in my community so that I may walk the path toward holiness? Saints Carlo Acutis and blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati pray for us.